how did you make this image, Mr. Mikulić?
In early 70s, we were using plotter, and plotter can draw only straight lines. Plotter couldn't shade like the colors or anything else but straight lines. So all the drawings from this 1972, 1974, my drawings are linear, and I wanted to add to pictures that I'm doing to. I was curious. I was interested. How can I make a large image? Because plotter could the plotter that I had access to at University of Zagreb was a small size. That was a plotter that could draw only 30 centimeters. That's like A4, A3 size with a long roll. So I did an algorithm which defined the density and the size of the rectangles. These rectangles were distributed in the way that when I got on the plotter the drawing, linear drawing of rectangles, I used the paint which was used in silk screen industry to fill in the areas. So everything that is black was actually filled by hand. I filled it to prepare the stencil for silk screen. I was a student. This was made in 1975. And as a student, I was very enthusiastic. I had my own silk screen, also small size, up to A3 size. And I was printing little small modules. Each module was in the paper within the size of A3, which is like 30 by 40 centimeters, roughly. I used 5 different grades of color for the background, and then I printed the pattern of rectangles on all of them, and then I used them as a material which I literally cut and pasted on the canvas behind. It was funny thing about canvas. I was a student. I didn't have wooden frame. I didn't have canvas. I couldn't afford that. So I was literally making my silk screen experiments and printing in a kitchen, on the kitchen desk. I had to wait until all my family went to bed. Then I needed the space, the kitchen table, and I stole from my mom's cupboard a bed sheet, and this is actually not canvas, like canvas that people paint on it. It was just like a backing for my collage. These pieces were smaller than what I needed. So I actually used the module, and then I was combining them to show the main effect. Main effect is that light in the center. It's actually backlight. Over that light, I put the elements, which I got inspired by a famous engraving. It's a Radierung by Rembrandt. And that's how I ended up with a large picture. And I'm so proud that now I can talk in front of it, explaining how it was done. We are in the Museum of Contemporary Art in Zagreb, where this image is part of a collection of museum. I was lucky that I grew up in Zagreb. Zagreb offered in those days, I'm talking 1960s and 1970s, incredibly wide window that it was open to us youngsters in the cultural field. We had a World Festival of Animation. So we had opportunity to see abstract animation like McLaren and similar guys. We had Music Biennale. So we saw John Cage live. We also saw that particularly impressed me, John Whitney Jr., the son of John Whitney, the father of computer animation. Everyone knows who is John Whitney, but John Whitney's son was attending Music Biennale, and he showed for a couple of hours. It was such a multimedia combination of projections of animation, which fascinated me the most. Then there were dancers and like light show, but the only time when I experienced among all the medias that someone used for presentation of artwork, he was walking around and spraying all the scents, and we had that feeling of associating smell that he was bringing to us with whatever was happening on the stage. That was so original and unique. I've never seen that before, not even later. So in that ambient, the cultural situation, I actually saw what people are doing with computers. The graphics that already some Americans were publishing in their magazines. I went to Zrinjevac in Zagreb. There was the Library of Embassy of United States of America. So as a kid in a primary school, I had unlimited access to all the magazines that were current. They were all the time the latest, like Time, Life, some industrial magazines, of course fashion, I didn't care about that. And I remember seeing reproductions in color of the first attempts to make computer graphics in America. Today, I know these names. Today, I went to eBay and I found that magazine from 1968. That actually influenced probably not only me, but many youngsters to think that way, to try to do something different. And that's how, at first opportunity, I was in a high school already fan of mathematics, not really other subjects as much, but in mathematics, I not only adored the subjects, but I was successful in the competitions on a level of between cities, between states in country. And one day we were offered, who wants to learn programming language for computer? That was like science fiction and unbelievable. I can learn how to program computer. In those times when you hear word computer, that was like, oh, that's the thing that takes people to the moon. That's the thing. Computer can do anything. Now imagine, I'm going to learn how to use it. So in high school, I learned Fortran. That was the common, in industry, the common computer programming language. And after that, when I enrolled to University of Zagreb, I enrolled at, it was called ETF, Electrotechnics, Electrical Engineering, I think is the proper name for that ETF. And students were supposed to learn Fortran during the first year. So few of us, colleagues from the high school and me, we knew already. That would be a waste of time. So we got access as some sort of assistants, student assistants to professor. Professor Žepić was in charge, and I'm so grateful that he recognized that we could do more than learning programming, which we knew already. So I've got access to Plotter at faculty, and when I drew my first test, like the line from A to B, or from B to whatever, when I got control of moving pen on that device, I realized I can really draw on that machine anything that I can define by points. So if I can define by points any drawing, any text or whatever I want, I can draw on that machine. And that was uncurable influence. I've got stuck with this machine up to today. I'm using drum plotter today. And drawing with plotter was time-consuming, because mechanics that move pen and paper in two directions, that took not minutes, but sometimes hours to draw. Like I had to think ahead. Am I going to make a drawing of 50 circles or 200 circles? 200 would have a nice moiré, a nice effect, but I cannot afford time to get to access to computer for that. So, okay, I'll draw squares instead. So squares have less points than circles, because plotter cannot draw circles. Circle is just a polygon, and you define, do you want polygon of 30, 50, or 100 points? And that's slowing down calculations, drawing. So everything was some sort of put together, keeping in mind how to optimize time needed to get the drawing. And computer time in those times was extremely expensive, because there were no computers. There were, I think, there were 2 or 3 computers at universities and big companies, like oil company, we cannot say we didn't know what military departments were using, but access to computer was so restricted that practically if I wanted to draw something that took more than 5 minutes, I had to use machine during the night. So as soon as I got familiar with the staff in the center, I had access during the night, and I was spending all my nights with plotter and waiting to see the drawing. And I never forget the sound. When plotter draws, it produces characteristic sound because it's metal box. It goes very loudly, in all directions, different tones, and most of people were annoyed with that sound. For me, that was a music of creating vision. And as computer technology evolved very quickly, so I can remember the periods in years, like a computer IBM 1130, which was used to draw all these drawings that I created on plotter. Plotter was IBM model 1627. You see, I don't remember my friends' names and things I so easily forget, but machines, model numbers I still remember. And very soon, even in the earliest drawings, in 1972, I participated at the Zagreb Salon exhibition, first time. And in 1974, I was already working on animation. Actually, at Tendencies 5 in 1973, there was a drawing which was almost 2 meters long. It's the roll that has its width of 12 inches, like 30 centimeters. But it was long because I put 7 different stages of the same drawing, which I modulated parameters. So when you see them next to each other, this is obviously a set of phases that look exactly like animation. I just didn't have technology to shoot on the film, to make them move, to create animation. But on that drawing and in the catalogs, it's obvious that animation was a direction where my interest went from the very beginning of using plotter drawings. And next step was when technology brought computer terminals. That changed the whole concept of creating graphic. Because on plotter, I had to wait, let's say, for very simple drawing, half an hour or 1 hour. If I wanted something very complex with a lot of calculations, like trigonometry, sinus, cosinuses, that sometimes took hours, literally. Now, on computer terminal, which was in different place, it was there was computer Hewlett-Packard 2000 with a lot of computer terminals attached to it in multimedia center, but that was multimedia center in Zagreb that was in the premises of University of Zagreb, because at the same time there was another multimedia center which was actually at student center. So many people mix up MMC, that's for multimedia center. Which one? Was it the one with computers, or was it the one where we go to watch those magnificent achievements, mainly from West, that guys like Turkovic and Galeta and Pajic, who were in charge to present what's currently happening in that field. So we could see that in MMC Student Center. But I was most of my time at MMC at university. It's just next door to our opera house. And we had something that I've never heard about, something like that anywhere in the world. Kids, school kids, students, adults, whoever needed or wanted to use computer had access for free to computer as much as they can. All you had to do is to book your time slot. So I was preparing animation, and I found a friend who was already established cineast, Vlado Petek. He had camera, 16mm camera, which I was using, and I shot first computer animated film in country in that time. That was in 1975. Lucky that I marked the year in the corner on the credits. That technology enabled much faster drawing of each phase, and drawing was on the screen. So when the screen was switched off, or when new drawing replaced the previous drawing, there were no drawings. There was no method of taking anything visual, like picture, out of computer. There were no formats like today on the phone. You got JPEG, you got dozens of other formats. You can print out into PDF, you take to shop, you get whatever. You can get picture out today. You don't have to think about it. In those days, the only way to take your work out from computer was camera, photo camera. So we have a lot of slides, photographs, and who were lucky that were able to make animation on the film camera. So it was so big change. Another step in evolution of computer technology. And that was something that everyone, each of us who were using computer, we dreamed, oh, I wish I don't spend my nights at uni. I wish I have computer at home so I can use it 24 hours. That time came. That was like unbelievable. They invented home computers. That was 1980, roughly. And in a year or two, all the friends I know who were interested in that field, including me, even Professor Tanhofer, with whom I was very good friend and close friend, we had home computer at home, and we were finally doing, whenever we wanted, whatever we were interested in it. The only thing is, the home computer was displaying your work on ordinary TV screen. That ordinary TV screen, when you take a photo of TV screen image on the TV, it's blurry, and the way how it's drawn, because it scans in 50 hertz frequency. So photo camera doesn't like that technology. So lucky that new technology brought the new way of recording what we were doing on home computers, and that was video. Video recorders were invented for broadcast televisions, for industrial use, because they were rare, expensive. We really didn't have access to video recorders until time brought them to the public market. So very soon we had VHS recorders, Betamax recorders, we had home computers. So we were equipped at home to use computers and to record what we were doing on our videotape. Yeah, video recorders were using videotape. That's not like discs that we know today. Videotape was literally a long strip in hundreds and hundreds of meters, wound around the spools. So if you wanted to find something on the other of the tape, you could go and make yourself coffee to wind up to the other end. And videotape had something that we can say it was practical, because we can recycle the videotape. So you can use over and over to record on the same videotape, which I regret I was doing it, because we had to do that because of the price of the tape. So at the end, I didn't save much from the beginning of that era, because tapes were precious for youngsters, and I still have, I'm lucky that I still have at least the last things that I recorded, it's still on the tape. Today, after 50 years after tapes physically deteriorated, it's a plastic tape with magnetic coat, and whoever was using videotape, if they didn't digitize it, so copied the content into some other format, which doesn't deteriorate that quickly, content on the tape is mainly gone today. When I was studying electrics at university, I started to actually spend most of my time using computer equipment for drawings. And then I thought I should actually learn more about art, learn more about what I'm doing. Everything's visual and graphics. I want to know more about art if I want to do graphics. So I enrolled into Academy of Fine Arts in Zagreb, and that was a period when I learned a lot of everything about history of art, old masters, and traditional technologies. So I believe that it helped me a lot. There was just, for example, one small detail is, I always like to say that I was fascinated with the light in one of Rembrandt's etchings, and I stole his concept of light and I used it in my, I put abstract elements in the same way. at academy, I was studying graphics particularly. So all the techniques, I loved the principles of printing and etching the metal plates, or preparing the stone plates. And the most that I've got from studying art was actually studying history of art and old masters. There is an anecdote that when I was studying art at academy, colleagues knew that I'm using computers and I'm doing the computer graphics. So I've heard rumors, he can't be artist, he knows mathematics. At the same time, at Faculty of Electrics, colleagues were saying, like, what kind of engineer can he be? He's interested in drawing naked bodies there. So that combination of science and art was extremely rare in my time. Today it's so normal. People study whatever their interests are, but not in those times. Talking about new tendencies, movement, and set of exhibitions, I want to point out that at the same time, it was in 1968 when Tendencies 4 were held in Zagreb. At the same time, there was another iconic exhibition in London. That was Cybernetic Serendipity by J. Shah Reinhardt. And her exhibition covered actually only computer art, not 3 segments like Tendencies. And these 2 exhibitions, they were literally opened almost on the same day. It was Friday and Saturday difference. It was August 1968. These 2 exhibitions are marking beginning of computer art, computer graphics and animation getting recognized as a new art form. So whoever was pioneer of computer graphics and animation, they know, we all know the role and significance of Cybernetic Serendipity in London and Tendencies 4 and 5 in Zagreb. And it's nice to see the whole segment shown in this part of collection of museum is showing the new tendencies movement. Today it is movement. I'll say we started because I didn't really start in 1961 when first Tendencies exhibition started, but in 1968, first time ever was officially part in a catalog named Computer Graphics. So that's officially like establishing computer graphics as a category which found the place in the art world. Because before that it was just, computers made it. Machines, that's not art. So the Tendencies 5, which was held in 1973, I am honored that I had 9 drawings, computer drawings in that exhibition. And unfortunately, that was the Tendencies 5 was the last exhibition, because after that there were too many changes, and the whole concept of Tendencies actually was covering as a one theme 3 very different things: constructivism, conceptualism, and computer graphics. So artists, computer graphics is definitely a field that's absolutely natural continuity from constructivism, because whatever we're doing, Pitzel, Richter, Vasarely, they were using tools, simple tools like, rulers and compasses to do geometric graphics. Computer helped to get it to the next level. There's fantastic Ivaral's work. Ivaral is Vasarely's son. And he continued where Daddy stopped doing manually. Ivaral was using computer. So having conceptual art under the same umbrella with constructivism and computer art was not really having too many common parts in the concepts. So artists from both our worlds, I was on computer side and my friends who were in conceptual art, they practically, it was obvious that we lost interest to merge into one space to show our work, which was very different. So Tendencies 6, we had invitation to participate, but it failed because no one participated. Beautiful. Richter from 1967, and each of these bits moves in and out. And now there is a warning, please don't touch. But this artwork was created for interaction. This was created, it's screaming, push this bit in. I may not. And you can buy today a small versions of the similar technology that you can copy, like the 3D shape of your face. You push the thing, you push your nose through, and like the volume of your face stays in. But this was for art purposes, not for copying some volumes. I want to push this bit in. My dear friend, Ivan, when did he make this? 1967, and he was doing that. Miljenko Horvat. It's incredible how many artists in early years, end of 60s and beginning of 70s, from our country went abroad. Miljenko Horvat went to Canada. Then we had Edward Zajec, who went to United States. There was Petar Milojevic. He went to Canada. They all worked at universities, and you can find their work in the same catalogs, from the same exhibitions, in the same publications, where Vilko Žiljak and me exhibited in international exhibitions, but only Žiljak and I still were working and living in our country, while big names like Horvat, Milojevic, and Zajec, they were already abroad. When I came to television, all the written telops, everything that was alphanumeric was written by hand, was written by using letra set. All the people of my generation would remember those were the sheets of transferred letters. So you got different fonts on different sheets, and you just pressed with a pencil. By scratching, you combine letters to make words and stuff. That was unacceptable because I already had at home computer and generator of graphics, whatever they are. So when first step in bringing digital technology to television, that was beginning of my role at television, was bringing the character generators. And of course, we got character generators without our letters, which I had to add into the entire system, which was delivered by American standards. And in 10 years, we didn't move far. We didn't get any digital equipment into television, all until late 80s. So in the late 80s, we got first paint system. Paint system was computer with a very high quality display. So graphics were displayed nicely, but that computer, I couldn't program. I couldn't do what I was able at home, like put your algorithm, put mathematical formulas together and generate image. I couldn't generate image on that computer. When next step of evolution of computers brought us the access to create animation and graphics for internet, everything turned to be interactive, because feeding people with just stills was not as attractive as giving them opportunity to do something, to change something, and to get interested. So this is practically where my career of creating computer graphics turned into a field where I had to work for others, and only when I retired, I practically woke up, got identical plotter as the one that I was using in the beginning, and now I'm doing vector graphics again, like in the first days.